I'm here to be a goalkeeper. No, I'm working on motion capture for FIFA 15 and the next gen goalkeeper. EA has obviously made a big push to change and revamp the goalkeeper position, which I, of course, love. So I feel like it's a rite of passage. You know, I've passed the test now that I got to wear. I got to wear this tight suit with the probes. But we did lots of goalkeeping, one-on-ones, punching, kicking, all things in real time, full speed ahead, reaction, saves, shot stopping, deflections, all things that are real particulars. Not your just run-of-the-mill stand, dive left, dive right. All real time stuff that looks really dynamic. It works on the reflexes and how quick you can be. And it was cool. I think from a goalkeeping standpoint, it was Tony Meola, because I grew up in a generation just as soccer was getting big in 1990, 1994. He was the face of it. He was one of the faces. And so if you were a goalkeeper, that's who you wanted to be. He was the greatest. Paolo Maldini was a guy for me that I admired because of what he stood for. What a great captain he was. What a great leader. Chicharito, he's my nemesis. He lives near me. We live in South Manchester, and so I see him quite often at the shops and the restaurants. And every time we travel back and forth for the national team, we're usually on very similar flights. He's a great guy. He's a fantastic guy. He's an extraordinary talent. He's an interesting one because not a lot of Mexican players have made it in the Premier League. But not only has he made it there, he's done very, very well. For me, he's not your prototypical Mexican player because he runs the line. He doesn't often come short for balls and link up play. He likes to run beyond and what you would consider you're a number 9, and he's been brilliant. I think he's fantastic. And every time we play him, it's always in the back of my head. He usually gets one up on me, so I owe him a few. So I enjoy the challenge. I love the challenge of trying to pit myself against the best strikers. Dos Santos is for the last, 5 or 6 years has really been one of Mexico's go-to players. Supremely talented. Again, a guy who has left Mexico and done very well in Europe. Players, particularly, in CONCACAF, and when we play in World Cup qualifying, he's so threatening because he's a magician with the ball. He can do amazing things and brilliant things, and he's a player that if Dos Santos is in the lineup, you're fearful of the Mexican team because he's so talented. Well, Ochoa, of course, he's a talented goalkeeper. He showed that at the World Cup. I think he was one of the best goalkeepers at the World Cup, and it was nice to see the goalkeepers from our region of the world play well. So it was exciting to see. I've always respected him as a goalkeeper. I've played against him many, many times, and he's kept Mexico in a lot of big games against us. And it was good. It was nice to see him play so well because I know what it's like, to be on the big stage and to have to try and perform. And he played valiantly. Hmm. Oh, gosh, good question. Probably one of the saves in the Portugal game. It was a moment where I believe Nani hit the ball, the original ball, and it actually moved and it swerved and it dipped on me and didn't catch me by surprise, but it moved. It hit the post and it came back out, and so I was trying to do everything to keep the ball out so it didn't look horrendous, And then I read the shooter, and he actually hit the ball into the ground. And so I knew where he was going, but then he mishit it. So anyway, it was a cluster of errors really that turned out to be what most people talk about is one of my best saves. So I'll go with that. Back when we were in high school, we played soccer. We got laughed at because that was like kind of the wimpy sport, And now, like, I've got friends in the NFL who are scoring goals and running around and taking their shirt off and acting like kids. And so it's really bridging the gap, And I think the coolest thing about what FIFA has done over the last 5 or 10 years is that it's educated people in the game of soccer. It's been really cool to get the invite and be here and be a huge part of making the goalkeeping position for FIFA 15 just lights out. Awesome.